intelligence agencies. Initially, I believe al-Mihdhar and al-Hazmi were protected because they had been sent to America by Saudi GID intelligence service, admitted under the terms of the liaison agreement between the GID and the CIA. Prince Turki al-Faisal, former head of the GID, has said that he shared his al-Qaeda information with the CIA, and that in 1997 the Saudis, quote, established a joint intelligence committee with the United States to share information on terrorism in general and on al-Qaeda in particular. The 9/11 report adds that after a post-millennium review, the Counterterrorism Center, that's Alex Station, intended to proceed with its plan of half a year earlier, quote, building up the capabilities of foreign security services that provided intelligence via liaison. That is to say, the CIA itself was helping other foreign intelligence services via liaison to spy on al-Qaeda, so that the arrival of al-Mihdhar and al-Hazmi could have been part of a Saudi operation that was at a higher level, a CIA operation. This was a Blee specialty. Steve Call reports that Richard Blee and his superior Cofer Black, excited by the opportunities presented through liaison arrangements, they flew together into Tashkent in 1999 and negotiated a new liaison agreement with Uzbekistan. According to both Call and the Washington Post, this arrangement soon led via Tashkent to a CIA liaison inside Afghanistan with the Northern Alliance as well. Now, I'm going to speak from my personal experience as a very junior former diplomat. A liaison agreement would probably have required special clearances for those witting to the arrangement and sharing the liaison information. In other words, you agree with the Saudis that what they tell you will not go through the whole of the American government, but will be limited to those designated to be cleared for that intelligence. And I have a little footnote here, which I'm going to share. I myself acquired a special, higher than top secret clearance to access intelligence from NATO, a relatively overt and straightforward liaison. And I was not, because I had that clearance, and I think I'd be breaking the law if I told you what the clearance was. I could not come back to my office and tell it to somebody else in my office that he didn't have the same clearance. So it's obvious to me that that's what's happening here. I'm not explaining away what happened. I'm just showing how it worked bureaucratically, and then we can think about what it meant in terms of the war party that was obviously at work in Washington. So where am I here? This would explain the exclusion of the FBI agents who were not cleared for this information, as well as the behavior of other non-cleared CIA agents who proceeded to collect and disseminate information independently about the two hijackers. Alex Station needed both to protect the double identity of the two Saudis and also to make sure that they were not embarrassingly detained by the FBI. Almost certainly the CIA had relevant liaison arrangements, not just with the Saudi GID in Uzbekistan, but also with the Inter-Services Intelligence, ISI of Pakistan, of Egypt, and probably Yemen and Morocco. In particular, there is reason to think that Ali Mohammed, the double agent who was protected by the FBI from being detained in Canada, thus allowing him to help organize the Al-Qaeda embassy bombings of 1998, was permitted under such arrangements to enter the U.S. as an agent of foreign intelligence, probably Egyptian. According to Mohammed's FBI handler, Jack Hoonan, all the information in the famous presidential daily bulletin of August 6th came from Ali Mohammed, and the PDB itself attributes its key finding to what an Egyptian Islamic Jihad operative, and that's what Ali Mohammed was, told a blank service. Ali Mohammed was definitely EIJ, and this service was probably Egyptian. But when Mohammed, like al-Mihdar and al-Hazmi, was inappropriately admitted to the US, because he should not have been admitted, it was reportedly not by the CIA, but possibly by some other federal agency. This, I suspect, was a Pentagon agency, because from 1987 to 1989, Ali Mohammed was assigned to the US Special Operations Command, SOCOM, in Fort Bragg, the home of the Green Berets and the Delta Force, the elite counter-terrorism squad. I will have much more to say about SOCOM. SOCOM, which includes JSOC, the Joint Special Operations Command, has its own intelligence division, and SOCOM is the command that first mounted the Able Danger program to track al-Qaeda operatives and then inexplicably shut it down. For this and other reasons, I would suggest reconceptualizing what Fenton calls the anomalous Alex Station Group as an interagency liaison team or teams with special clearances, perhaps centered principally in Alex Station, but involving collaborating personnel in the FBI, such as FBI agent Dina Corsi, about whom Fenton has much to report, and possibly SOCOM. Corsi worked at FBI HQ, which, as Fenton notes, coordinated liaisons with foreign services. Now, a little background on the Safari Club and William Casey. This will be easy for those of you who've read my book, but Fenton also gets into the same material. These arrangements, these liaison arrangements, in one form or another, dated back at least to the 1970s. Then senior CIA officers and ex-officers, notably Richard Helms, who were dissatisfied with the CIA cutbacks instituted under Jimmy Carter's CIA director, Stansfield Turner, organized an alternative network, the so-called Safari Club. Subordinated to intelligence chiefs from France, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, and, under the Shah, Iran, the Safari Club provided a home to CIA officers like Theodore Shackley and Thomas Clines, who had been marginalized or fired outright by CIA Director Turner. As Prince Turki later explained, the purpose of the Safari Club was not just to exchange information, but to conduct covert operations that the CIA could no longer carry out in the wake of the Watergate scandal and subsequent reforms. In the Afghan covert war of the 1980s, CIA Director William Casey made key decisions in the conduct of that war, not with his own CIA bureaucracy, but together with the Saudi intelligence chiefs, first Kamal Alam and then Prince Turki. Among these decisions was a key one, the creation of a foreign legion to assist the Afghan Mujahideen in their war. In other words, the creation of that support network, which since the end of that war we have known as Al-Qaeda.